Hi everyone, firstly wishing you all a very happy and prosperous Deepavali. Welcome to this video. In this video we are going to cover eating options in Goa, especially if you are a vegetarian like me. Now we all know that Goa is a heaven for seafood lovers, but even if you are a vegetarian, there are many options to choose from. We will be spoiled for choices. Be it South Indian, North Indian, you want continental food or any regional food, vegetarians have many options to choose from. Now, we spent 3 nights, 4 days in Goa, and we mostly visited family restaurants, which is your Udupi style restaurants serving pure veg food and of course no alcohol. So, I like to list all the food options from lowest budget to medium budget. Now we did not go to any high-end restaurants at all. Like you have some really cool restaurants there like Antares and I think one restaurant called Thalassa. Now these are you could say specialized cuisines. For instance, they serve Italian or Greek food, or if you want European food. Then there are certain cafes and restaurants which cater to these, but we only went out to your simple family style restaurants which would come under medium budget, right? So I'll be covering those restaurants in this video, right? Now, like I said, I'll be covering them from lowest price range to the medium one. That would be highest, but overall it's just a medium price range outlet, right? Now, if I have to say, the cheapest way to eat in Goa would be to eat the local food. Any place you travel to, if you go and eat the local food in the small restaurants, that's always the most cost economic way, right? Now when it comes to Goa, Goa is very famous for its breads. Goan breads are so interesting, they're so nice, soft and fluffy to be precise. So Goan breads can be mostly classified as your Goan pav. You have the Goan pav, which is very similar to the general pav, the usual pav we eat across India. It's slightly sweeter is what I felt compared to your usual pav, but very fluffy and you can just eat it directly. You could toast it slightly if you can, but even otherwise it's very easy to just accompany it with some bhaji or some curry and you're good to go, right? You could do this for meals, lunch or dinner, even for breakfast, right? Now usually these pavs are available at small bakeries or dairy stores, or you need to look out for these, where to get these pavs or buns. Now the second kind of pav that available in Goa is slightly, it's cut out at the sides. It looks like a rectangle with the sides cut off. Basically it's narrow in the middle. Now this pav is known as the katre pav. This one is also very fluffy and light for breakfast. Again, you can have it for dinner if you want something light. This one we would call it the 8-shaped bun, but actually it's known as the katre pav, right? Both the pavs are available for 4 rupees per bun, right? Now the pav, the Goan pav, it's usually available like your pack of 6 or pack of 8, but they always cut it for you if you want only 2 pieces or 3 pieces. Right? Now other than these two pavs, there is this round bread. It's a very thick bread that you get. It's called the Goan Poee. Now the Poee bread is usually made of whole wheat and also whole wheat bran. It's more filling and slightly heavier. I think it's best served for breakfast or lunch because like I said, it's very filling. Okay, if you have 2 of these, that's like very good. Now we did not have any arrangement for heating it, as the resort we were staying in did not have a kitchen. But if you're staying at a place where a kitchen is available, then surely I would suggest you slightly heat it a bit before eating, right? We of course ate it directly and I found it a bit stretchy at times, but whatever suits you, right? So these are the 3 most popular buns or breads that you get in Goa very easily, right? The next kind of bread rather that I got to taste in Goa was the puri. Now this puri I think is called the Goan Puri, but I actually googled it later on and I came to know it's also known as the banana puri. It looks slightly orange in color with jeera in it. Now this one is leavened. as in to say it's like bhatura. The texture is more like a bhatura that we have, but it's much smaller than the bhaturas we are used to having. Now this one also accompanied with a curry or a bhaji is very easy to eat. Now this one I think is not priced at 4 rupees. It's usually around 20 at a restaurant. I'm not too sure about the price of it at bakeries, but you could always inquire. Now if you are not able to find these breads easily, you could always check out, I said, small bakeries or dairy shops. Now we were staying in a resort in Kandolim, and every morning around 6:30 a.m. or 7 a.m. there would be this bread vendor who would go on a cycle, right? He would go in the interior roads. Our resort was slightly away from the main road, but this bread vendor would take his cycle into the interior roads, okay? Now on his cycle there used to be this big blue drum in which he would carry his bread, and would also have a horn with him, like a bhopu, a horn. And he would go, he would actually come every morning and evening carrying fresh baked bread. So we usually would buy our bread from him. Like I said, in the mornings he would sound his horn and we would go down and get some bread. If we missed him in the mornings, he would be also mostly visiting in the evenings. I would suggest buying from such vendors because you'll be assured that it's fresh bread that you're buying. The price is same everywhere, whether you buy from this vendor or you buy in the bakeries. The basic bread is usually always 4 rupees per bun. That's the, I think it's a flat rate all over Goa. Now in case the place you stay, such vendors are not available or you're not able to spot any, you don't need to fret. These people also go on the main roads. Like sometimes when we would miss this vendor outside a resort, we would go to a walk on the beach, to the nearest beach, and we would always find them on the main road, right? We would always stop them anywhere and buy. If you are still not able to actually find any such vendors, no issues. Like I said, we were staying in Kandolim beach area. So on the main road, that is the Kandolim-Kalungate road, towards Kalungate beach, actually there's a small roundabout when you are going to the Kalungate beach, and right near the roundabout, a little away from the roundabout towards Kandolim, you have this small shop called Goan Dairy, right? There's an old uncle who sits at this shop, Goan Dairy, and we saw that this shop also had fresh buns and breads morning and evening. We would usually miss the morning time, so evenings we would be sure to get our breads from here. Like I said, you get the Goan Poee, you get the Kurta Haul and the Poee breads here, each priced at 4 per piece. So we used to get our breads from there, and the uncle, he would wrap them up in newspaper. That's actually how everybody gives you the bread. They wrap it up in newspaper neatly and they hand it over to you. Now these buns, along with any curry, you can pair it with, and that makes for an awesome filling meal, right? Now if this is going to be your meal option, then the cost for this would be around, for 3 people that is, if you are 3 adults, then you would be needing around 2 curries, let's say, and average price of this curry would be around 180. So that would be roughly 360 just for the curries. And these breads, again, let's say even if you are able to have 4 per person, that's 4 paos or 4 buns per person, that would come out to 16 rupees, right? 16 make it 20 roughly. So for 1 person is 20, so for 3 people it will be 60. So 360 plus 60, roughly 420, 450 should be your cost for a meal. You add on some lassi or some drinks, around 500, 550 per meal is what it takes if you're going to have this. Now the next option that I come to is your Udupi restaurants. There are loads, many such pure veg Udupi restaurants all over Goa. You'll find them every few meters actually. Now as a rule, I would say any restaurant that has Sagar in its name would be a pure veg restaurant by default. So it's Shri Sagar, Sai Sagar, Anand Sagar, Shiv Sagar, any Sagar you see would be a pure veg restaurant. You can easily walk into these. These are no alcohol, pure veg restaurants, and most of these restaurants also cater Jain food. So if you want specific Jain food for somebody, then you could also order them at these places, right? So it's very easy to find. Homely food, you can have South Indian, North Indian, Gujarati I think is more commonly available here. So for breakfast, now in our case the breakfast was complimentary at the hotel we were staying in, so we did not have to go out for breakfast. But in case you do not have a complimentary breakfast system, no problem. Most places for breakfast open as early as 7:30 a.m. right? So if you go around 7:38, you will have many options for breakfast. You have your humble Udupi restaurants always, where you have idli, dosa, upma, uttapam, your South Indian favorites. You also get parathas at some places if you like your parathas for breakfast. Now if you want something more fancy, like you want muesli maybe, or if you eat egg, then you want some baked eggs or boiled eggs for breakfast, then you also have such restaurants and cafes which serve breakfast. Right where we were staying, like I said, on the main road, the Candle Kalungate Road, there's this cute bakery called the German Bakery. The German Bakery, you would usually find foreigners but also Indian tourists who would have their tea, coffee and some interesting breakfast. I'm sure they have things like muffins, maybe if you need some, I don't know, cupcakes, muffins, cereal, muesli and other such things are available. So when it comes to food, there are many options for us vegetarians, right? The next option, like I said, are these Udupi restaurants for lunch. Now we're done with breakfast, we're coming to lunch. If you took the earlier option of buying breads or curry, then that's an option always. Although I suggest for lunch the breads won't be easily available. They're usually only in the mornings and the evenings, around 6:37 in the mornings and 5 p.m. onwards in the evenings. But if you want to go out for a proper meal, you want rice and dal and curry and chapati, this is also quite easily available all over Goa. Now, like I suggested, the Udupi restaurants or the pure veg restaurants have thalis. The basic thali which we had was at this restaurant called Curry Leaves. It's in Kalangut. This is a pure veg restaurant and the thali here was priced at 150. Now the thali had chapati, a bowl of rice, it had chole curry, aloo curry, dal, a small portion of salad and kesari, that's a sweet. So this one was priced at 150 and it was quite filling. I would say if you have an average appetite, then this should be filling enough for one person. And if you think you want to add on some lassi or juice again, that would be 50-60 rupees extra. So that brings us to around 200-210 per person, right? So if you are 3 people, again that would bring us to 600 per meal, right? That is inclusive of the starting drinks, the cooling drinks. If you do want any drinks, then it's just 450 per person again, considering 150 a thali. Now these places also serve dals separately, curry separately and your rotis. Most places give you an option of tawa chapati and your tandoori roti, so you can choose whichever you want. So this was the minimum thali that we had. Now this restaurant I told you about, Curry Leaves, was a non-AC restaurant. It was, you did not have any air conditioning, separate seating there, so the price is 150. Now we come to the next level of restaurants. So most of these restaurants have a non-AC seating at the ground floor and an AC family seating on the first floor. So obviously I think that there will be a price difference for the non-AC and the AC seating, but generally if you are a family, they'll always guide you to the AC section, right? Because it's more comfortable obviously, and if it's a lunchtime and the sun is beating down, then I would generally suggest going for the AC one, because it can get quite humid and hot, right? In summers or even in winters, I would say, because Goa never really has a cold climate, right? So you're better off going to the AC sections if it's summertime and you can't stand the heat, right? Now the prices for the AC section, the thali, that's what we usually had at every meal, ranges from around 170, 180 to 210, 220, right? But these thalis are usually, the dishes are more or less the same. You have 2 curries, 1 dal, rice and chapati with a papad. More or less the same, but at some places you'll have that the curries are more rich gravies, right? In this level, the restaurants we visited, one was the Navtara restaurant. Now this restaurant called Navtara, it's again on the Kalungate main road. Most restaurants you will see are on the Kandalim Kalungate main road. Now this is the straight road which goes to Fort Aguada. So in some places, if you are searching on Google, the address might say Aguada Road, Fort Aguada Road. This is nothing but that same road towards Aguada, right? It's one straight road which goes from Aguada to Kandalim, to Kalungate, to Baga, and again you notice it also goes to Arpora, the same road. So you will find many restaurants on this stretch every few meters. So this restaurant Navtara outlet was in Kalungut. Okay. So here also we had the veg thali, which I think was priced around 200. Again, very filling. I'll share the photos as you can see. Now the reason why I wanted to go to Navtara restaurant specifically was because I saw in another video by some YouTuber again in Goa, and he mentioned how in this restaurant you get veg Xacuti. Now there's some Goan delicacies, I would say Goan special curries made with special Goan spices. There are two of these. One is the Xacuti and the vindaloo. Now vindaloo you always heard a lot about. Unfortunately, I could not taste the vindaloo because most places that I saw would serve chicken vindaloo and fish vindaloo, and I could not eat those. There are a few places that sell veg also, but they are not in the vicinity that I was staying, so I could not taste it. But I did make it a point to taste the veg Xacuti. Now the veg Xacuti is made with some special spices, and I think also coconut also goes into the making of it. So this particular restaurant sells you veg Xacuti, and mushroom Xacuti along with pav, puri and paratha, right? We were visiting in the lunchtime, so paratha was not available. They only had the pav with Xacuti and the puri with Xacuti, right? So I opted for pav, as you can see in the pictures. And we also had fries. Now one very common thing in Goa in most restaurants you'll see is that they sell something called chips. Now these chips are basically French fries with some dash of chaat masala on top. So many places have this. So we would usually order these because my son would love them. So we would always order along with the thali. We would have a half portion of these fries. So here also we ordered the fries, which were priced at 110 rupees, right? This was a big huge plate of fries, so all three of us could share it, and it was very filling, right? So at this restaurant, if I calculate the entire bill, it came to 200 for thali, 65 for my Xacuti and pav, 265 and 110 for this. That's 265 and 275 and 285, 290. So the bill was roughly 300 something. We also took a water bottle, so that would be 350, 360 roughly. Okay, that was for 3 people because we did not order anything. But if there are 3 adults going, then of course you will be ordering more stuff, maybe 2 thalis to go with. So that would of course again bring us to 450 roughly for 3 people, right? So this was a medium restaurant. Another medium restaurant I went to was this restaurant called Sri Sagar, again on this Kalingat stretch. You can always Google these restaurants. I'll also leave links in the description box below. So Sri Sagar, another restaurant, again had a non-AC section and an AC section. We went to the AC section again, and here the thali was 170 rupees, and the thali again more or less the same items you will get. Okay, so 170 was the thali. I wanted to have uttapam to keep it light, so I had uttapam, which was again 70, 65, 70 rupees. We also have cheese option in this, which is priced at 110. So depending on what you order, again the bill came out around 400 rupees, right? So these restaurants usually come in the bracket of 400 to 600, depending on you are going with kids or going with adults, right? For 3 people, average it would cost you 400 to 600 rupees, depending on whether you order a add-on drink or not, right? So this was the medium restaurants that we visited. Now we also wanted to go to a beach shack to experience how it's like sitting beside a beach eating there. Now of course all beach shacks mostly sell seafood and non-veg, but it's not that bad. They also sell very good vegetarian food, right? So if you don't have a problem going to such places, then I would suggest that you do visit them at least once or twice. Beach shacks are those places which are right on the beach. Now there are 2 kinds of seating available in such beach shacks, that is inside the shack under their roof. Another option that they give you is on the beach. They have these beach recliners with an umbrella. They charge 100 extra per such bed. So if you're 2 people, that's 200 rupees just for the seating, and of course food is extra. So if you want to have a very relaxed and laid back meal, then you could opt for these. That's in front of the shack basically. You get a good view of the beach and you can just relax, lay back a bit if that's an option for you. This is actually I think this is available in almost all the beaches. This particular shack I'm telling you about is on the Candolim beach, boat shack. It's right, the second shack, actually to be more precise, is the second shack to the right when you enter the beach, right? So here again we had veg noodles, veg jeera rice, and those fries, the French fries, and I found this slightly pricey over the Udupi restaurants, a bit pricey, because the jeera rice was priced at 200 and the portion was quite small. Even the noodles priced at 200, the portion was really small. The fries were good. Fries you can order as half or full. The half is priced at 80. So 480 was the basic price. We also had bottled water, which was 50 bucks. So that brings us to 480 plus 50, that's 530. So around 550 it was for us. So if you are again 3 adults, it would of course easily charge you, it will cost you 600 above, right? But I would say it's a very good experience. So I wanted to really try this cake, Goan delicacy known as the bebinca. Now you must have heard of bebinca already. If not, then bebinca is basically a layered cake, right? It comes in very small layers, as you can see in the pic. So this cake again, I could not find it very commonly. Mostly, like I said, I didn't go to the big bakeries. I only went to the smaller bakeries. So that's about it for this video. Like I said, keep yourself hydrated, keep yourself protected from the sun, and have a happy holiday, right? If you're planning your trip anytime soon, or if you're also in Goa right now. I hope this video helps you. If you like this video, please like it and share your comments in the comment section below. If you would like this video in Hindi or Telugu, please let me know again in the comment section below. I would like to make a video in Hindi or in Telugu, right? Thank you again.